What's up, everybody? Welcome to the latest edition of the Stephen A. Smith Show, coming at you as I love to do over the digital airways of YouTube and, of course, iHeartRadio. As always, before I get into anything else, let me take a moment to thank my subscribers, my followers. We've now eclipsed 785,000. Can't thank y'all enough for the love and support. Of course, on iHeartRadio, we've eclipsed more than 2.5 million downloads over the last couple of months. Can't thank y'all enough for that support as well, in audio, in video, and beyond. We've been receiving so much support and love from y'all. Can't thank y'all enough. Keep it coming. And you know I'm going to keep on coming. Got a lot of stuff to get into today. Donald Trump is backing out of debating Kamala Harris ever again, it appears. I'll talk about that. The one and only Edgar Berlanga vying for the super middleweight championship boxing crown of the world, going up against Saul Canelo Alvarez this Saturday night at the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas. I'm going to look forward to talking to him because he's getting ready to fight Canelo. And I think that is, clearly the toughest fight of his career. We'll get into that with this dude who's 22-0 and a knockout artist in his own right. So looking forward to listening to him, talking to him, hearing what he has to say about this upcoming fight. But it has to take a backseat today. Both items have to take a backseat today to Mr. Shannon Sharpe. Mr. Shannon Sharpe. Shannon Sharpe, that's where I'm going to start today because he was trending all over the damn place this week for a pretty interesting reason. Now, I was minding my own business when my phone started blowing up. And I was getting texts all over the place, text messages all over the place. Everybody calling. Oh, you see what's happening? You see what's happening? I didn't know what the hell was going on about Shannon Sharpe until I saw what I saw. And shall I say, a certain video of him doing some things, okay? Let me just say he may want to change the name of his show from Club Shay Shay to Club Something Else. I don't know where to go with this. Here's the deal. Because obviously, I've spoken to him. He is my colleague on First Take, somebody that I brought over to the show last year, who's done a phenomenal job since he's arrived. And I'm incredibly appreciative of not just the partnership that we've developed, but the friendship as well. And he called me about what happened, let me know what was transpiring, and was letting me know that he was going to let the world know what transpired as well. Shannon Sharpe was having sex. That's what he was doing. Okay? He's getting it in. It's just that it wasn't for everybody to know. And evidently, you know, he was on Instagram Live and didn't know. And as a result, although no video was seen, thank the good Lord, we heard quite a bit. And so initially he thought his stuff was hacked, and then obviously he came out and told what transpired. And that was that. And from that point forward, you've had people speculating as to whether or not he was going to get fired. Was he going to get suspended, et cetera, et cetera. Again, he works on First Take. I'm the executive producer for First Take. So if something was going to happen to him with regards to ESPN, I'd be one of the first to know. I was on the phone with the bosses yesterday, and you know, nothing's going to happen, to be honest with you, because nothing should happen. Let me be the first to say that Shannon Sharpe committed no crime. It wasn't some sex tape that he meant for everybody to hear. That's not how he rolls. I've gotten to know him personally. That's not who he is. That's not how he rolls. Okay? So let me get that out the way first. And if something had happened where he was going to be in a world of trouble, I would have fought like hell to make sure nothing came of it, because again, there's no video and he was living his private life and it was a mistake. And if you know anything about Shannon, trust me and believe it was a mistake, because not only is he incredibly private, he's incredibly clueless when it comes to using social media. He has a team that does that for him. That's not what Shannon Sharpe does. Shannon Sharpe will tell you what he wants tweeted. He will tell you what he wants posted on IG. He will tell you what he wants on Facebook or something like that. But he damn sure ain't doing it himself. That's not what he does. He's not technologically astute in that way. A lot of people aren't. He's one of those people, okay? I know his team. I know him personally. I've seen him all the time because when he shows up the first take, they are with him. When he goes anywhere, they are with him. There's a cadre of people that show up with him. When he shows up to games and stuff like that, they are with him. He ain't rolling by himself. They come with him. He's got a social media person. He's got a photographer. He's got all of that. He don't mind people filming him and tweeting for him and constantly being a conspicuous presence on social media. He likes that stuff. He's not like me in that regard. We're both very, very private, but I don't have a desire to have all of that around me. He loves it. Okay? But they're professionals that handle his business. But they ain't going to be there when he getting down. He ain't going to have him in the room when he getting down now. He going to do that in private. Okay? And I assure you, I'm here. I'm telling you right now, I wasn't there, obviously. But based on the Shannon Sharpe that I know, I can promise you, when that brother says he didn't know he was on IG Live, he didn't know. Because there's very little he knows about social media. He knows what he says because he's instructed his team to post what he said. But in terms of technologically implementing something himself, no. That's not Shannon. That's not Shannon. So make no mistake, he was telling the whole truth. But I want to get to a bigger portion of this story that I wanted to say. The nerve of people out there that were trying to act like he did something wrong. 2 consenting adults were getting it in yesterday morning. What's the problem? What's the problem? I couldn't believe when people were trying to act like, yo, it's like he did something wrong. They're trying to say it's sex tape. Nah, no, you didn't see it. If you didn't see it, you didn't see it. And accidents happen. He says he was embarrassed. I saw him on Nightcap last night with Ocho Cinco. He says he was embarrassed. I believe him. Because he don't want people in his business, number one. Number two, he don't want people trying to figure out who he was with and bothering that person. That's true. Number 3, Shannon Sharpe is a big-time family man in terms of Sterling Sharpe, his brother, former NFL wide receiver, who, by the way, was the second best receiver in the world next to Jerry Rice when he was playing in Green Bay, having passes thrown to him by Brett Favre. If y'all don't know, do your damn homework. Sterling Sharpe was that dude. And obviously Shannon with his sister and his family unit, his daughters, stuff like that, he ain't trying to be all over the media for that. That is one thing to talk about stuff and be flirtatious and talk about what you gonna do like he's done on Nightcap and stuff like that when they brought up Megan Thee Stallion and other people. All that's just talk. But in terms of actually hearing and seeing him in action, nah, he ain't about that life. That's not what he wants to do. And so for me personally, I'm just looking at people and I'm like, why y'all tripping? Why everybody acting like, he did something wrong? I'm not saying it was right to get caught on audio, getting it in like that, but because it's none of anybody's business. But if it was an accident, it was an accident. Anybody, any virgins out there, raise your hand. Any folks rolling around celibate out there, raise your hand. Anybody that ain't getting it in from time to time, if not more than time to time, Shay, raise your hand. Raise your hand. All these people looking to find some kind of criticism. I don't know what you can criticize. Now, let me say this to Shannon Sharpe, because it's very important that I say this. Thank God you were handling your business. Because it would have been bad, right, if it was on audio and you were being insulted. That would have been bad. Shay, it would have been bad. The whole crew would have been, not on camera, but off camera, we'd all been laughing at you. You know that, right? You know that, right? So thank God that wasn't what was going on, okay? And then he said, Chad Ochocinco alluded to it. He said Cat Williams called him and said to him, quote, "You ain't gay today. Because you know those rumors that they try to put out there about Shannon Sharpe, which to my knowledge, first of all, I don't care if he is or isn't. It's none of my business. But I can assure you, I've never seen any evidence of that. Anytime over the years I've seen Shannon Sharpe, he's been with a dime piece. That means somebody that looks very, very good. Okay, a female that looks very, very good. That's what I'm accustomed to seeing him around. That's what I'm accustomed to seeing that brother around. So I never bought into those rumors. Not that I care, because I'm liberal on the social side. I'm fiscally conservative, but when it comes to your private life and how you live your life, that's your business. Gay, trans, bi, heterosexual, homosexual, is none of my damn business. Okay? I got the kind of life I like to lead, which is that of a heterosexual. Anybody that wants to live differently, that's your business. I could care less. But if you a man who is a proud heterosexual, you don't enjoy people saying that you're gay, which is what they were saying about Shannon Sharpe, which Shannon Sharpe has openly admitted he found offensive. So all of those rumors, we hope, will be put to bed and everybody move on with their damn life. But in the end, I just thought it was important to point this out. So long as it was an accident, the man did absolutely nothing wrong. So people blowing up my phone, asking me, is he going to get fired and all of this other stuff. No, I spoke to the honchos. He ain't getting fired. It ain't going down like that. That's not going to happen. He's going to be here. He's going to be right on First Take Monday and Tuesday. He's going to be right with me next Friday in Washington, D.C. when First Take rolls up on Howard University. He's going to be right there next month when we go to Tennessee State. He's going to be right there after that when we go down to Atlanta Clark University and Morehouse and all of that. Yeah, he's going to be there too. Okay? Because he didn't do anything wrong. Mistakes happen. Accidents happen. It's just that simple. Let it go. Let it be. Anybody who living, I understand living on it in the moment when the damn thing is strolling on IG Live. I get that part. But now that it's beyond us, anybody focusing on that, making me wonder about what kind of life you got. He's 56 years old. As he said on his podcast, 56 and still healthy enough to get it in. I appreciate that. He ain't the only 56-year-old that know how to get it in. And got the energy and the stamina and the physical wherewithal to get it in. There's a few folks out there that can do that too. But leave that man alone. Let him live his life. And don't be searching for what woman he was with or whatever the case may be. That's his business too. Last time I checked, he ain't married, so nobody can assume specifically who it is. If he was married, you say it was his wife. He's not married, so we don't know. Why care? And by the way, for the woman who was with him and clearly intends on being with him again, ain't no shame. You with your man, doing what it is that you do, that most of us do quite a bit. I'm just saying. Up next, he's vying for the super middleweight championship of the world. I'm talking about a big fight going down this weekend in Vegas. I'll talk to the one and only Edgar, the chosen one, Berlanga, about all that and more. Next up, after all, it is Canelo Alvarez this brother is fighting. The boxing world wants to know. How's he going to handle himself? Is he going to survive? We'll talk to him about it. That's up next, right here on the Stephen A. Smith Show, over the digital airwaves of YouTube and, of course, iHeartRadio. Back with more in a minute. Okay, everybody, you know what time it is. It's time for Stephen A. Sports Picks. Everybody knows that I'm a sports fanatic. And now that the NFL season is here, I'm trying to find ways to put myself in the middle of the action. And there's only one way I can possibly do that. I'm going to use Prize Picks, of course. That's what I'm going to do. You see, Prize Picks is the largest fantasy sports platform in all the land with over 3 million members. You just choose 2 or more players and then pick more or less on their projected stats for the game. And the best part, it takes only 60 seconds. And get this, sign up with code SAS and Prize Picks will give you $50 instantly when you play your first $5 lineup. You don't need to win your lineup to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. All you have to do is play a $5 lineup on Prize Picks and you'll get your $50 instantly. Now, let's get right to it and look at my winning picks, okay? Today, I'll be choosing all players from this weekend's NFL games. Jared Goff, quarterback for the Detroit Lions, more or less than 267.5 passing yards against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers this weekend. I get that Jared Goff and those brothers, I mean, they won the game against the Los Angeles Rams. It was a tough, competitive matchup, but the Rams are no joke. I know the Buccaneers don't look like much of a joke either, especially Baker Mayfield doing his thing. He deserves his props. But I think this is a game that Jared Goff will show up and he'll throw for more than 267.5 yards. I think Detroit is the better team. I think he'll show himself to be at least as good as Mayfield, if not better, which he is in most people's eyes. I'm going with more on this one. More than 267.5 yards for Jared Goff. Let's go to the one and only Baker Mayfield himself. More or less than 255.5 passing yards against the Detroit Lions. Look, Detroit's defense is vastly improved. They obviously go how to get after the quarterback. But I'm looking at Evans as a wideout. I'm looking at Godwin as a wideout. I'm looking at the opportunities that Baker Mayfield's going to have to make some noise. I think he's going to do well himself. Yeah, I don't think he's going to do better than Goff, but I don't think it's one of those situations where he's going to stink up the joint either. Do I see Baker Mayfield passing for more than 255.5 yards? The answer to that would be yes. So we're going with more. Bryce Young, quarterback for the Carolina Panthers, more or less than 192.5 passing yards against the Los Angeles Chargers. I'm like everybody else right now. I've lost faith. I look at Bryce Young. Boy, what a spectacular player he was coming out of Alabama. He was special. But looking at him in the NFL, he looks like a boy playing amongst men. He's just so undersized. He's so small. And these are Goliaths. These are mountains of men coming his way. And he's had a rough patch of it. And for them to get annihilated the way that they did again in week 1 against the New Orleans Saints shows us that they're still not a good team. The Chargers are on the come up. Jim Harbaugh's a hell of a coach. I definitely think you got to look at them and what they can bring to the table. I definitely believe that Bryce Young is going to have a very, very, very rough outing. 192.5 yards. I don't know if he's going to throw for 150 yards, let alone 192.5. I'm going with less on this one. Less when it comes to Bryce Young. So let's revisit my picks, okay? You got Jared Goff at 267.5 yards. I'm going with more. You got Baker Mayfield at 255.5 yards. I'm going more. You got Bryce Young at 192.5 yards. I'm going with less. More, and less. Those are my picks. Flow with me on this one, y'all. Trust me, you'll need to flow with me. Welcome back to the Stephen A. Smith Show right here over the digital airways of YouTube and, of course, iHeartRadio. Sin City's going to be on fire this weekend as my next guest is a big reason why. With an undefeated record of 22-0-0, please welcome the man known as the Chosen One. He ain't LeBron James. Is super middleweight boxing champion, the one and only Edgar Berlanga. What's going on, big time? How are you, man? How's everything going?
I'm good, man. You know, we here in Vegas, 2 days away from the biggest fight of my life, man. And we ready to go.
How did this fight come about, Edgar? I mean, were you pushing for it? Did Canelo call you? How did this come about?
Yeah, he called me. He called my phone, man. He called my phone. Nah, okay. Now it was more, I was already talking about the fight, 4 years ago. I've been speaking about, me fighting him and stuff. You know what I'm saying? So we got the call once he won Munguia, but I already knew because Eddie Reynoso had said something like, let him know that, if we win, if we win this fight, that, we're going to get the Berlanga fight in September.
I'm looking at you right now. First of all, you know what? You recently stopped your last fight. You had a stoppage in the 6th round. Prior to that, you hadn't knocked out anybody since 2020, really. But the first 16 fights, not only did you knock everybody out, you did it in the first damn round, for crying out loud. And I wonder, when you were doing that, as you were elevating yourself in this business, what did you think of yourself, and why did you believe you were tailor-made for this fight against Canelo?
I feel like right now, it's my time, man. I know that, it was written, God's plan, right? And I'm supposed to be here. We ain't fight no world champions. We ain't fight for a title yet. But my first world title shot is for 3 titles. It's the unification fight with a legend, so that's already legendary right there, and God don't make mistakes, man. So I'm going in there and I'm gonna perform greatness. You know what I'm saying? I've been ready for this. 4 years ago, 5 years ago, I've been speaking about this fight, man. It's a different type of vibe when a person is mentally ready for something. You get what I'm saying? 5 years ago, and then now I'm getting the fight. I'm ready to go, man. The tickets are booming. It's a sellout event. Pay-per-view numbers are gonna do amazing. I got 2 on the line, man. So that right there. Once I got 2 on the line, I said I know the fight is viral, and this is greatness right here. So I've been ready for it.
You got people that look at you, and let me tell you what they say about you. They say that if you're going to win this fight, it's going to be because of your power and the fact that you've got the power to ultimately take down somebody who has never even been knocked down, let alone knocked out, in Canelo Alvarez. But they say if it's a boxing match, that's where you could be in trouble, because they think that you're the inferior boxer. What do you believe you are in this fight?
Everything. I got everything. Counter punching. I come to fight. A great jab, great legs, great head movement, great waist, great everything, man. That night, for 36 minutes, I gotta be great. For 36 minutes. And on that night, I gotta be the greatest Edgar Berlanga there's ever been. You hear me? And I know what I'm capable of doing. I needed a guy like him to take me to that level. I needed a legend like himself to push me to that level, to where I know where I could be. And yeah, if it goes 12 rounds, like I said, we got to be locked in for 36 minutes. Greatness, if the knockout comes, it comes. But we looking to take him out in 6 rounds. He pushed it down. He pushed it down and said he was gonna take me out in 8. He said he's gonna take me out in 6. I told him, all right, so you're gonna go out in 4. And if you come out swinging in the first round, I'm the knockout king when it comes to the first round knockouts. You're going out in the first round.
So when you look at yourself and you see Canelo Alvarez, tell me what you've seen from him in recent memory. Now, when I look at him, I see one of the greatest ever, but I also saw a dude that lost at the light heavyweight division. I saw a dude who fought an undersized Charlo. I see a dude that people are talking about eventually fighting a Terrence Crawford, who'd have to move up 2 weight classes in order to go up against him. 3 weight classes, actually. I'm seeing these kind of things, but I also see somebody that obviously has knockout power, swings with power with practically every punch he throws, and he's been known to take a few cats out in his day. When you look at Canelo Alvarez, what do you see at this moment in time? What do you see from him?
Right now, I see Cap. I think right now, is his time already passed. You know what I'm saying? He's a great champion. He's a great fighter. But for me, right, I don't think he faced anybody at the 168 division that's big, that's strong, that's gonna come to fight, that don't got no respect. You get what I'm saying? I got everything to lose. Anybody can say whatever they want. I got everything to lose for this fight. You know what I'm saying? Regardless of anything, I'm facing a legend. You know what I'm saying? It's how I want to wake up September 15th. Either I'm gonna wake up with an L in my record, or I'm gonna wake up being the face of boxing, being the face of everything, the face of Puerto Rico, the face of New York, the face of the world, man, the face of boxing, bro. So that's what's on my mind. Canelo right now, I feel like his time has passed. Every king has his day, right? And this happened years ago, just like you, right, Stephen A? When you get older, you're the king of what you do, but eventually someone's gonna come in and take your place, and you're gonna have to sit down and retire, right? So it's the same thing that goes with him. Every king has his day. My day gonna come. It's depending how I want it to go, right? But at the end of the day, my time is gonna come to become king, and then eventually I'm gonna have to get,
Mhm.
Not saying I'll be thrown by anybody, but it happens. You get what I'm saying? It's boxing, bro. You know,
Right.
and right now I feel like it's my time. I feel like right now is the time for me to just take over the sport. You know, the sport needs somebody like me, man. They need that energy. They need a New Yorker. You know what I'm saying? They need a Puerto Rican. They need a person that's gonna represent the brothers, man. You know what I'm saying? That's gonna represent everything. You know,
When
and I'm that guy. You know what I'm saying?
when I think about Canelo, here's what I think about. I think anybody who's just gonna walk to him and try to just get in a brawl with him, they're playing right into his hands. I think that even when you have the power, he's somebody you got to use the jab, you got to stick, you got to move,
Of
you got to keep
course.
him at B,
Of
you
course.
got to keep him at bay. You can't just walk to him because the brother will catch you. I mean, you catch
Of course.
anybody, especially with that left hook. Do you recognize that about yourself? Do you feel like this is a guy that you got to fight a little bit differently against compared to how you fought against everybody else in your career thus far?
Oh, 1,000%. You know, he's a legend, right? So he's a guy. He got a lot of experience, right? And I'm gonna go back to when Rolly fought when Rolly fought Javante Davis, right?
Yep.
Rolly was a power puncher, but Rolly depended too much on his power. You know what I'm saying? And Tank is a guy that has IQ. He's intelligent and he has power too, and he knows how to use it. You get what I'm saying? So that's why he did Rolly the way he did. You get what I'm saying? So my strategy, my plan is not to go in there and try to running and throw bombs from down here to try to, we're not going to land that, you know? We got to use the jab. We got to use the feints. You know, we got to go in there and be smart, be intelligent, man. Make him think. It's different when you go in there with a thinker. You get what I'm saying? You see when he fought Floyd, Floyd made him think. Floyd made him think. The whole 12 rounds made him think. You know, you got to go in there and making that guy think. You can't go in there like Munguia went in there and just throwing combinations. You know, Munguia is a great fighter, but I feel like he lacked the IQ. He lacked the intelligence, and that's why he didn't get the victory.
You know, I look at you, and and I saw y'all with y'all press conference. Y'all was talking some smack to each other, and Canelo was like, I'm gonna hurt this brother real bad. I'm gonna hurt him real bad. That's the prediction that he's been telling all of us. He's been telling the world about what he's going to do to you Saturday night. Is there any history between you two that most of us may not know about, but we need to know about?
Nah, but what I do know is that he sees something, right? You know what he sees? He sees a young kid, right? A young kid, strong, pretty, you know, got a lot of great stuff going for myself. You know, I'm a guy, right? And I said this before, and I don't mean like meaning like I want what he has. Like, you know, I don't like that when somebody says they want what I got, right? But I didn't mean it like meaning I want what everything here I want. No, meaning like whatever he got, I could get. You get what I'm saying? I could fight my ass off. I could sell tickets. I'm a guy that I bring that energy. I bring that light into boxing. You know what I'm saying? Sort of like how Floyd did, you know? And I'm Spanish, I'm Puerto Rican. I got a whole country behind me, a whole island behind me, you know? So he sees that. And that's a threat for him. You know what I'm saying? Then he sees a kid that don't got no respect for him, you know what I'm saying, in that ring. You get what I'm saying? So a lot of these guys got a lot of respect for him, you know, because they like kissing his feet, because, you know, payday and they got paid and he's, you know, who he is. He's Canelo Alvarez, and let me kiss his feet. And it's like, nah, man, like I'm not doing that. He keeps talking about respect. But it's like, brother, you trying to go in there and hurt me. Steven, if somebody wanted to go in there and hurt you, right, on
Yeah.
Saturday night, you gonna have respect for them?
No, I'm gonna try to kick their ass.
Yeah, exactly. And you gonna talk your shit, right? You gonna tell them, I'm gonna kick your ass, motherfucker. It's not gonna be no respect. You trying to hurt me? You wanna send me to the hospital, bro? You trying to embarrass me in front of my kids, in front of my family? You crazy? I gotta do the same to you. That's why I say boxing is not it's not a sport. It's respect after the fight. But during the fight, contract signed, that shit is over, out the window. It's blood, sweat, and tears, bro. I could die in that ring. He could die in that ring. You know what I'm saying? So it happens, man.
You know, I'm looking at this right now, and obviously you're Puerto Rican, he's Mexican. How much does that factor into? I mean, it's Mexican Independence Day and all of this. How much does that factor in your Puerto Rican ancestry compared to his Mexican ancestry? How much does that factor in to not just how big this fight is, but how exactly you'll fight him? Because a lot of times we're watching from the outside looking in, and we're wondering whether or not that pressure from your countrymen, that pressure from your peeps plays a role in how you choose to fight somebody. Talk about that for a second and what kind of influence that could potentially have on this fight.
You know, it's gonna be a great fight, right? Because you know the type of style fighter I am, the type of style fighter he is. You know, He's intelligent. I'm gonna be very intelligent that night, you know. But it's gonna be eventually. It's gonna wind up being a slugfest when it comes down to it in the later rounds. You know, my job is to go in there in the later rounds and go and take him into deep waters. You know what I'm saying? And put that pressure on him. You know, he has 67 fights. So like what Coach said, right? Like when we talk about he's been in 60 something camps, training camps. That takes a toll on your body. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like right now is my time. You know, it's gonna be a slugfest. I feel like, but not only that, it's gonna be in the later rounds. You know, it's gonna be a fight, man. You know, when Puerto Ricans and a Mexican go at it, it's always a fight, right? Because it's like two countries going up against each other, and then it's two fighting countries. You know what I'm saying? Like Puerto Rico's a fighting country. Like we fight for our shit. You get what I'm saying? And then you got Mexico who has the same thing. You know, so when you put those together, you know, it's explosive.
Yeah, but he's got the experience because he's going to have the composure because of those damn camps that he's been in pretty much his entire career with 65 fights, just like you just said. So he's experienced in this, whereas these kind of bright lights is your first experience ever. So that's how people are looking at you. What do you say to them?
I'm going to ask you a question, right? If you was prepped mentally for something 5 years ago and you seen everything happen, played out the way it is, and you seen your name and you seen your face where certain people's face was when he was facing them, right? When that time come, would you have any anxiety? Would you feel any nervousness? How would you feel? You feel ready, right?
I feel ready.
Right?
I feel ready. I feel ready mentally and what have you, but I'd also know I got to be careful because I'm going in against a veteran.
No, for sure, but a dangerous fighter is a confident fighter, right? And a smart fighter. You know what I'm saying? A person that's confident and that knows what he's gonna do in that ring is dangerous. You know what I'm saying? I can't look at him like, oh my God, like that's Canelo, he's a legend. You know, oh my God, he fought Mayweather, he fought Triple G, he fought just like what Ward said, he ain't fight Berlanga, you know what I'm saying? He ain't fight Edgar Berlanga, you know, so this is my time, man. I feel like right now this is my time to make history, you know, go in there and perform greatness and do what I do best.
You're fighting him at 168, your super middleweight. There's a person that's been there, even though they recently moved up to light heavyweight because Canelo wouldn't fight him. That guy's name is David Benavidez. A lot of times when people looked at Canelo, they thought that was the guy that should be in the ring with him. Canelo hasn't embraced that smoke yet, but he's willing to embrace you. What do you believe the difference is between you and a guy like David Benavidez and why you're in this fight this Saturday night against Canelo?
Because I know he thinks that, so he's like, I got this young kid, right? If I grab him now, he's young, he's inexperienced, he doesn't have the IQ that he says he has. This is what he's saying. He's a puncher, he could fight, right? He's going to be a star, but let me grab him now. Let me grab him early.
That's what Floyd did to him. That's what Floyd did to him.
Let me grab him early because he's going to be that guy. So let me grab him early so I can have him on my resume, and let me duck smoke with Benavidez that already fought, you know, the Boo Boo Andre, you know, he fought Caleb Plant, you know, he fought a lot of big guys, right? That's the reason why, 100%, you know. But just like what everybody says, man, he gonna run into a train Saturday night.
If you win this fight, what will this do for your career, in your estimation?
Sit on the face of the boxing world completely. I'm gonna be that guy. I'm gonna probably go see you in person. You're gonna probably want me on your show in person. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm probably gonna want that anyway, bro. I'm probably 22-0. You can fight. Make no mistake about it. You can take people out. I'm gonna give you your respect. I'm asking, what would be next? Do you anticipate a rematch? Do you anticipate moving on to a David Benavidez? What do you anticipate reaping from this fight for yourself?
I want to collect that other belt that he gave up, that IPF. There's two guys that's fighting for that belt right now. I think they're gonna fight for its own. So to win that, I would like to get that belt to become undisputed. You know what I'm saying? But I know for a fact he's gonna want a rematch. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna have to, you know, work some stuff out.
You get the money, you get the rematch because you're gonna get more money fighting him in a rematch if you win this. Get the money, baby. Get the money, get the paper, bro. Last question to you. You say you're gonna win. I assume you're predicting the knockout. What round is it going to happen in?
6.
You taking them out in 6 rounds?
6 rounds.
So remember, this is a man that's never been knocked down, let alone been knocked out. And you're predicting you're going to stop him in the 6th round.
6 rounds. Okay. You know it's coming. It's fire coming to that boy, man. It's fire coming to him.
Edgar Berlanga right here on the Stephen A. Smith Show. Appreciate you, my brother. Good luck Saturday night, man. You handle your business, all right? You take care of yourself.
All right, thank you, brother. I appreciate it.
All right. You can watch Canelo Alvarez take on Edgar Berlanga at the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas this Saturday night, September 14th on pay-per-view. I ain't trying to miss that. Coming up, the former president of the United States appears to be running scared, at least in some people's eyes. Not everybody, but at least in some people's eyes. We'll talk about Donald Trump's refusal to debate Kamala Harris and why exactly that is. Plus, got a whole slew of NFL games to talk about this weekend. I'll touch on most of them, give you some of my predictions to go into the weekend with. Stick around, don't touch that dial. You're watching the Stephen A. Smith Show over the digital airwaves of YouTube and listening to the Stephen A. Smith Show over iHeartRadio. Back with more in a minute. Hey, I want to take a second to make sure everybody knows the NFL season has officially started, and I couldn't be more excited. And with the games happening Thursday night, Sunday night, and Monday night, Prize Picks wants to help you cash in on all that big-time action. You see, Prize Picks is a daily fantasy app where you can pick 2 or more of your favorite players, and then you simply select more or less on their projected stats for the game. Pick a player's rushing yards, passing yards, total touchdowns. The list is endless. And the best part is, Prize Picks has something for every sports fan. Choose from the WNBA, MLB, MMA, even golf, for crying out loud. All in the same entry. I make my picks and submit early, all in less than 60 seconds. That's less time than it takes for Travis Kelce to take a pass from Mahomes all the way to the house. And get this, sign up with code SAS and Prize Picks will give you $50 instantly when you play your first $5 lineup. You don't need to win your lineup to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. All you have to do is play a $5 lineup on Prize Picks and you'll get $50 instantly. Pick more, pick less. Yo, it's that easy. Welcome back to the Stephen A. Smith Show right here over the digital airwaves of YouTube and, of course, iHeartRadio. Before I get on out of here for the day and get to some of my NFL picks for the weekend and all of this other stuff, I want to remind y'all I'm taping this on Thursday night because obviously I've got some things to do while here in Vegas because there's 2 big-time fights going on this weekend. One is in the UFC featuring Sugar Sean O'Malley. The other is at the T-Mobile Arena featuring Edgar Berlanga and against Saul Canelo Alvarez. So it's going to be a wonderful, wonderful weekend, very exciting weekend in the city of Las Vegas, Nevada. Make no mistake about that. But I'll be remiss if I neglected to get in a little politics because Mr. Trump, the 45th president of the United States, now running for re-election, trying to become the 47th president of the United States, got roasted in a debate on Tuesday night against Vice President Kamala Harris. And since that time, he has opined over social media that there will not be a third debate. He debated Biden on June 27th. He debated Kamala Harris this past Tuesday on September 10th. And now he's done with the debates. There won't be a third. Let's call it what it is. Trump is scared to look bad. And I can't blame him. I don't think it's the wisest decision. I think personally he should want another debate against Kamala Harris. He just should want it at a different network, one more favorable to him, so he doesn't get to complain about how the network was favorable to her. That's what I think he should want to do. But I don't think your last debate should be the one that we saw just a few days ago where he got romped. I'm just calling it like I see it. I want to remind everybody, I've been of the opinion that she didn't really get to win on too much substance. She didn't address her changed positions, fracking, healthcare, immigration. She didn't really answer the question about the withdrawal from in Afghanistan by American troops spearheaded by the Biden administration. There was a few things that she didn't get into, okay? And we understand that. But Trump let her off the hook because he didn't press the matter. And you know why he didn't press the matter? Because he wasn't prepared. He wasn't prepared. And so much noise has been made about who the moderators were and Lindsey Davis and David Muir and all of that stuff. That wasn't the problem. The real problem is that Trump wasn't prepared, and she was. Now, people are going to sit up there and say she was slippery because she was evasive and she didn't answer the questions, whatever. Well, what politicians do you know that ain't slippery? They all slip and slide to some degree. The issue is that you got to be on top of them so they don't get to be but so slippery, and they get to be forced to answer their questions about what their positions may be to the American people. He didn't do that. He didn't do that because she had him reeling, because she beat him at his own game. She came up with one-liners calling him weak and wrong. She talked about his rallies and how people were leaving. They were exhausted and bored and didn't want to be there to listen to him no more. She did everything she could to egg him on. You know she was coached. No, Obama had something to coach on. You know Hillary Rodham Clinton coached her. You know a lot of people in the Democratic Party coached her. And she handled her business, and he didn't. So the question is he really, really making the right decision? Is he really, really making the right decision by avoiding debating her a second time, third time overall? I think he is making a mistake. I think he was so bad, and I think he got beat up so bad by her on Tuesday night, he desperately should want a second debate against her, a third debate overall, if for no other reason to articulate his positions. But the reality is that when we listen to him speak, we used to chide Biden about how inarticulate he appeared at times, not finishing sentences, words missing from here and there. Well, guess what? That's what we can say about Trump now. I mean, if you're listening to him, he's stumbling and bumbling a little bit more than usual. He doesn't appear as sharp as he was in 2016. He doesn't appear as sharp as he was in 2020. He doesn't appear as sharp as he was June 27th against Biden. So for me, I'm like, wait a minute. I'm torn. I have to confess. And I'm looking at some of my producers and everybody in the Wests and Knicks and everybody else and Rashawn and everybody. I'm looking at y'all and I'm just thinking along these lines. I'm saying to myself, yo, I don't know if he's making the wrong decision. I think it is. I listened to Frank Luntz just yesterday, the noted pollster, spanning 40 years. I'm listening to all of that. But I got to tell you, at where I'm sitting at right now, I don't know. He might be making the wrong decision, but then again, he might not. Here's why. Trump never showed up for the debates for the Republican primaries. Nikki Haley wanted him there. Ron DeSantis wanted him there. Chris Christie desperately wanted him there. He never showed. He said, the American people on the conservative side definitely want me. They don't want none of y'all. Y'all ain't going to beat me. Let me take my rallies to New Hampshire and Iowa and places like that. I ain't got to show up against y'all. I mean, please. Y'all are nothing to me. That's what he was saying. And I love Chris Christie. You understand? That's my guy. But he didn't have a chance against Trump. Nikki Haley didn't have a chance. Ron DeSantis didn't have a chance. Ron DeSantis tried to beat Trump. He tried to become the Republican nominee by out-Trumping Trump at being Trump. It didn't work. It didn't work. So if he doesn't show up at the primaries and he cakewalked to the Republican nomination, despite 34 felony convictions, despite 2 impeachments, despite numerous civil cases against him, if he is still the Republican nominee after all of that, I don't know if it's the wrong decision for him to say, why do I need to battle her? Treat her like she's Nikki Haley. Treat her like she's Ron DeSantis. Treat her like she's them. Maybe that'll work for me, because debating against her, the prosecutor showed up and exposed them. She was ready. You know what Kamala Harris did? You know what the vice president of the United States did to Trump? She treated him like a defendant on the witness stand. She didn't treat him like a peer vying for the same position as she is. She didn't treat him like somebody to look up to who once held the position she aspires to have. She treated him like a defendant on the stand with his life on the line, having to guard every damn syllable he uttered out of his mouth, and got him to fumble and stumble and trip over himself along the way. They're eating pets. They're eating cats and dogs. And ladies and gentlemen, I don't know whether that's true or not. I just know most folks wasn't trying to hear that. That's not something you was trying to hear from a presidential candidate. You wanted to hear something a bit more substantive. Yeah, they're ruining our country. They're letting the borders get flooded. Well, give us the numbers. Tell us where they flooded into. Talk about those sanctuary cities and how that panned out for some of the liberal cities. He never did it. He never did it. Inflation. The price of food, the price of gas, the price of milk. He never focused on it. He never did. Because he was preoccupied with himself and him defending himself and fending off her accusations. So much so, the man forgot the damn points he wanted to make. That's what happened. I'm willing to bet you he didn't remember his damn points because he was too busy trying to defend himself from her accusations of being wrong, of audiences being exhausted of him and bored by him, of him being weak and how world leaders laugh at him and stuff like that. Oh, no. She hit right on the ego. You know what she did? I'm just going to go there, especially since I started off the show talking about Shannon Sharpe and that audio sex tape, right? We going to go here for a second. You know what she did? She did. Imagine getting into an argument with your woman or with somebody who used to be your woman. Now, there was a time when they loved you. There was a time when they wanted you. There was a time when intimacy with you was something they looked forward to. Hell, they might have craved. Right up until the moment you got on their damn nerves. And you pissed them off. And all of a sudden, they calling you everything but the child of God, and everything that your ego was allowed to be fed off of for whatever period of time you was with her. She just throwing that out right out the window. Oh, I was faking it. I wasn't feeling your ass. You didn't do it for me. I got your name there on you. I can't wait for you to leave. They touch on your ego to make sure that when you walk out the door, it ain't with the same confidence you had in yourself when you were with them. That's what the Vice President of the United States did to Trump. In a political way, speaking strictly political, she stripped him of his potency and made him impotent. That's what she did on that stage. So the question is, does he get it back by going to battle with her again? Or does he get it back by going on the campaign trail and avoiding such debate situations? That's really the question mark. We don't have the answer. He supposedly gave it to us already, but we know he's prone to change his mind. We shall see. We shall see. Before I get on out of here, let me inform y'all I'm going to have, I was going to do some NFL picks. I'm taping this on Thursday night. It's right before the Dolphins-Bills game. And I was talking about Friday, really getting into my NFL picks. But literally while sitting here, I decided I'm going to do a special edition of the Stephen A. Smith Show on Saturday. Live from right here in Vegas. Hours before both the UFC and the boxing match. Saturday. Special edition of the Stephen A. Smith Show coming your way. So until then, I'll save that day for my NFL picks for these Sunday's games. I'll save it for Saturday. Okay? Until then, I'm signing off. That's it for this edition of the Stephen A. Smith Show. Peace and love, everybody. I'll talk to you on Saturday.